Make Money Socially, How to Build a Brand Using Social Media, written by Jerron Taylor. Part 1, The Rise of Social Media. The internet went mainstream on August 6, 1991, and since then has transformed our lives in such a way that is hard to comprehend. There is no way the world could have anticipated what impact the internet would have on society. Yet, here we are, 31 years later. We went from a world where the access to information wasn't always that accessible. This was a time where public discourse on politics, products, and justice wasn't easy to find. When the World Wide Web came along, it allowed communities to form and made it easier for the expression of one's voice to be heard by others across the world. It could be said that the internet gave the power back to the everyday person. With the rise of search engines, people were now able to find the answers to questions that they may have never known the answer to before. Reading product reviews and being able to research products without even leaving your home made shopping and purchasing decisions a lot more convenient for the everyday person. Yet, the biggest boon the internet offered was the ability to form online communities with friends and strangers. This ultimately led to the rise of social chat rooms and eventually social media networks. America Online, better known as AOL, was one of the first social chat rooms where people could form communities and discuss topics using an online alias. In 1997, AOL launched Instant Messenger, and users spent millions of hours chatting online. This marked the first time millions could interact with each other virtually using the internet. Although there were many legal concerns with such chat rooms, this was still an interesting time for the internet. As the internet matured and as websites and users became more knowledgeable about how they can use the internet for their own benefit, the potential to market and profit using the internet emerged. As bloggers, online influencers, celebrities, and other personalities with a mass audience online began to realize the power in their own influence, the need for social networks became more apparent. Social networks will allow for everyday users who may not have the blogger audience or the famous personality appeal the opportunity to express their opinions, post their own content, and share their own thoughts to their own audience. This was a monumental moment because the voice of the people finally began to be heard by others across the world. When MySpace broke onto the internet in 2003, it gave internet users a platform to create their own brand and profile for others to see. Whether it were the images you uploaded from an event you attended, updating your profile background to your favorite sports team logo, or making sure you had the best music playlist when people came to your page, MySpace taught users that these social networks were a place where you can define yourself and update the world on what you were doing and how you were feeling at a particular moment in time. Believe it or not, this was branding. We were putting forth an effort to make sure that others knew what we wanted them to know about us. When you develop a brand, essentially this is what is being done. You are driving the association of images, words, music, and other content to yourself. For a stranger, this is the first time they'll have an impression of you, and unless you meet them in real life, the only impression they will have of you. Yet, somewhere along the way, defining yourself and being a unique user of social media lost its fire. When the transition from MySpace to Facebook took place, I believe this was a shift from being geared toward unique brand expression to a more generalized, targeted collection of users that companies and marketers could advertise to and keep an update on. The rise of social media marketing. From 2006 to 2011, Facebook popularity skyrocketed. Leaving MySpace behind, Facebook suddenly became the largest social media network in the world. Businesses and marketers were all intrigued by the amount of data Facebook could potentially gather with so much access to users' personal information. The more users that interacted on Facebook, the more valuable the platform became. Facebook did a great job of bringing in new users with a platform that was simply made for networking amongst everyday people. In January of 2011, Facebook introduced sponsored stories, and this became Facebook's first real chance at monetizing their social networking site. What this did was allow businesses and organizations the ability to pay Facebook to turn regular posts into ads and highlight them as sponsored so others will notice them. Soon after, sponsored posts began being seen higher in news feeds and on side columns. Facebook also began allowing businesses and organizations the ability to directly target users based on location, demographics, psychographics, household income levels, and numerous other behaviors and interests. By the end of 2011, 2.5 million websites had integrated with Facebook, including 80 of the top 100 U.S. websites and over half of the top 100 global websites. Facebook was now ready to go public, and in May 2012, the company finally did so. By going public, this gave investors and marketers even more incentive to promote and utilize social media. Facebook had given advertisers, businesses, and organizations the power again. Now, with access to our data, our emotions, advertisers have the ability to advertise whatever they want to whoever they want. Unfortunately, on Facebook and Twitter, advertisements make up for nearly every 10th item seen. Brands today spend thousands, even millions of dollars utilizing social media influencers and online bloggers to promote their products and services. This growth has led to many more social media users attempting to be more active on social media and develop a brand on a platform where they can share their opinions and interact with like-minded individuals while also making a profit. The current state of social media. The power to start conversations, promote products, and entertain others has emerged quite rapidly over recent years. The ability for a post to, quote, go viral and to see certain topics start trending all points to the power of user-generated conversations. Users are starting to put more value into other users' opinions. Word of mouth is a powerful tool, and people are more likely to trust an average person like themselves over some big-time corporation or commercial brand, especially on social media. The rise of YouTubers, social media stars, and bloggers all came from online users who wanted to make money using their voice, personality, and expertise in a specific topic or industry. They identified who their target audience was, what mediums they would use, a blog, social page, website, and then promoted themselves to others that their brand was now on the market. This approach opened up an entirely new industry. We now have social media influencers who have the same size audiences as celebrities and professional athletes, just because people value their opinion. Being able to witness this emergence of a new industry where the people hold the power is a great sight to see. Developing a brand and watching it grow into a moneymaker is something that is possible now with social media influencers as more brands start paying these influencers for content generated towards targeted audiences on social media. Today, instead of buying banner ads and spam emails, companies actually use consumers themselves to promote their products. Advertising on social media is now something everyone can be involved in. Having brand ambassadors is definitely something companies do, as you can now endorse the brand you love and actually get paid for it. The social media advertising landscape has turned tides once again, back to being user-driven platforms. What social media users endorse, say, purchase, recommend, promote, and share all holds high value, and in many cases more value than the company-branded ads that are also on social media feeds. Being able to identify what other subject matters and products is a right that every person should have. Being able to voice that opinion and share it to the world so easily was never something I believe people envisioned before. I believe we are just touching the surface of what type of brand building can be possible in this new age of social media. With access to live video and live audio, we now have the means to take our brands to the next level. Whether it be through company or personal brand promotions, professional networking, or social activism, seeing others create brands and have a voice on social media is inspiring. And we should all strive to share valuable content and messages to others, whether it be for personal business or just as a friend. Today, we live in a world where every aspect of life can be shared instantaneously to whoever wants to see it. What you show will be identified with you, like it or not. Developing a solid brand and understanding of what you will use these platforms for is the key to benefiting and profiting from them. You can use this brand to benefit however you see fit. It is great to know that you have a means of expressing yourself to a mass audience at any time, and if done well enough, you can earn money doing so. Now, let's better understand how you can start building a brand that maximizes your voice and expression in today's world. Part 2. What is a brand? A personal brand is defining oneself in a unique way that others seek interest in. These brands are not just for social media purposes, they actually help others better understand you in real life. Being an expert in a specific field or subject matter is an important element in branding. The things you love, the things you hate, your beliefs, your ideals, and anything that you identify with are all elements to your brand. Once you establish a clear perspective on certain issues and topics, you can then build on that brand. Reflecting on your interests can offer great insight into what you are truly passionate about. Whether it's sports, music, or fashion, all of your interests help create an image of yourself. When you share an article on Facebook, others are connecting with that article and with your interests. The places and events that you attend also helps others mold their impression of you. Think outside the box and really reflect on your past social media posts and see if there are any constant themes or interests that stand out the most. The personal choices that you make are also essential parts to your brand as well. The food you eat, the clothing you wear, and the things you do all showcase to the world what you identify with. When you start to recognize these types of elements and start crafting posts and statements based around similar themes, you will then start to see people turn to you for opinions on particular subject matters. If you are known for eating healthy and you continually post healthy meals you eat and healthy activities that you do, you are essentially building a brand that other like-minded people can relate to. Being personable and authentic all plays an important role in gaining credibility and the reputation as the go-to source for your area of expertise. Ultimately, no one knows you better than you do. When you know yourself, finding your voice isn't hard. Being able to stand out from the crowd and being your own person shows that voice, and using social media as a tool to express that voice can lead to a fun and enjoyable hobby or career. So once you found this voice, the next thing you must do is identify your target audience and how you want to share that message with them. Who is your target audience? Defining your target audience is a very important element in building your brand. Before you can start creating content, you must identify the audience that you will be speaking to. Who will care? Why would they care? And where are they located are all questions you should be asking yourself. Also, doing background research on how this target audience likes to communicate is also important when creating a strategy and how you plan on reaching this audience. In most cases, your target audience needs to stay the same. However, there should also be promotional campaigns targeted to key audience members. Say if you want to reach your San Francisco market one month and your New York City market another month. As long as the messages are relevant to the targeted audiences and the interests and behaviors are continuously aligning with your brand, then occasional targeted campaigns are something that can be really useful when you are wanting to target certain posts or other content to these audience members. For small businesses and startups, knowing the way your target audience thinks is a major key. If your audience likes to engage and participate in the conversation, then find a platform that allows for that. If they are more visual and creative, then find a platform that makes it easy for you to share your visual art. For small businesses, you want to have a consistent message and plan for what messages will go out, when those messages will go out, and who that message will be reaching from your target audience. Having this clear understanding of what, when, and who makes it very easy for you to keep track of your audience and making sure they are outreached to consistently. It is also important to understand where your audience spends the most time online. Are they Facebook users, Instagrammers, Twitter, or TikTok users? Even if you have a blog post, you should definitely still occupy one of these social media networks to reach your audience and share your blogs. This may take some trial and error determining where your audience is best engaging. Once you find this platform, cater to those audience members and engage in the conversation. Offering valuable insight outside of your blog can really resonate well with your audience. You want them to think of you just as they think of themselves. Having an honest and authentic personality is something audiences look for. The more real you are with them, the more real they are with you. Once this relationship has been built, maintaining it will be another task that takes time and effort. Finding your target audience is the starting point of finding the best platform to communicate with them. Which platform medium should you use? When you think about the ability to drive traffic to your website, whether it be from social media or your company website to purchase a product, understanding which online platform to use is key. One of the biggest advantages of social media is being able to share this content to others online. These online platforms allow for easy integration and cross-platform content sharing. Being able to take content from one channel and share it to another audience on another channel is great and can really increase the number of eyeballs that sees this content. However, a big mistake people make is not identifying a goal or particular use for each platform. It makes no sense to have a Twitter page if you don't occasionally tweet. And it's not cool to get a TikTok account just because it's the latest thing out. If you have a brand and want to talk about a particular topic, then you have to identify which platform best suits that topic and the message you want to get out. It could be a blog post message, a Facebook page, an Instagram page, a YouTube channel, or a podcast. Finding the best platform will help pave the way to a brand identity and allow for a consistent channel where your target audience can find you. As for the medium of choice, think of how you are most comfortable with communicating. This could be through live streams on Facebook, weekly blog posts, weekly podcasts, a series of Instagram photos, or a YouTube channel. Whether you want it to be on screen or off screen, your message can be heard. Those who are more camera shy might be more comfortable hosting a podcast or writing a blog post, while others may be more into live streaming or video blogging. Either way, find a medium that best suits you. It will also be good to do research on brands that have a similar niche/topic as you. See how they are interacting and engaging with their audience to get an idea of how you should be going about building your own brand. In the long run, building a presence on a particular social channel will allow for easy promotional integration. Once the target audience has been identified and after you've analyzed which platform best suits them, then you could take things a step further and reach a new audience through your platform of choice. Through proper planning and strategy, promoting your brand will play a major role in spreading your brand name, gaining new followers, and getting the earned media exposure that is possible when you create relevant, authentic, quality content. Part 3. Adding value. Adding value on social media has always been a key factor in determining if your audience will remain loyal. No one wants to listen to or take advice from a person if they are not truly interested in the subject matter or topic of conversation. Having content that's engaging offers audience members the ability to apply your words to their own life. Whether it's a recommendation to try something new or informing them of upcoming events, each interaction needs to offer value to your audience. Whenever a person takes your advice or listens to your opinion, then they are more likely to be influenced by you. That's a big responsibility on your shoulders. Knowing that you have the power to influence can be uplifting, but you also have to understand what having this power means. It means that every post you put out in the world will be analyzed by an audience expecting quality, informative topics that fit your image and that gives them value. Having a message behind your post allows for audience members to see what's meaningful in your life. Showcasing the things that you value the most will also help your audience see the value you are giving them. Many of your followers on social media only get to interact with you via social media. Whether it's because of distance or just too busy lifestyles, the beauty of social media is that you can virtually keep up with others without having to see them in real life. Therefore, what you say behind the screen means that much more, since many will never get to know you in real life interactions. What people see from you on social media may be their only impression of you. With so much content being pushed out on social media nowadays, it's hard to stand out. Making sure your content is valuable will help it stand out. The pressure of pushing out quality content can be overwhelming at times. There may be difficulty in finding the right topics to talk about or new ways to get your message across. When this happens, the best thing you can do is plan ahead. There's nothing wrong with setting a content calendar and knowing beforehand what you want to send out. You should be aiming for quality over quantity always. Your audience knows when content lacks quality, is rushed, and invaluable to them. It's best to find your balance and offer valuable content that has meaning behind it for your audience. Being authentic. Your audience knows when you are being authentic and when you are not. They know the real you, believe it or not. If you regularly post that you like the Cleveland Cavaliers, then one day post you like the Golden State Warriors, then your audience will know something is up. Any post that is out of the ordinary or that doesn't align with your other posts will seem unauthentic. Staying true to your values, beliefs, and opinions will make you a trustworthy, authentic brand. This will keep your audience coming back. People will begin to associate you with the things you are saying, promoting, endorsing, and supporting. Whether that's a local charity, the fight against cancer, or pride in your favorite sports teams, these are the things people expect to see in your branded content. Being conscious of what you post will go a long way in maintaining this brand identity. Social media posts last forever, and it's easy for people to go back and find a post you put out or something you tweeted 3 years ago. Being conscious of what you put out will ultimately help keep your brand true and authentic. It's really simple to be authentic if you are just being yourself. Your online persona has to be your real life persona. You have to be what you are promoting to others. No one wants to follow someone who is fake and unauthentic. Don't try to be what's cool or trendy. Having a clear statement of what your brand voice will be from the start will hold you and all your posts accountable. This will help keep all your content consistent in nature and true to your brand values. Taking long, hard looks at your content before it goes live is also a great technique to use when trying to maintain brand values. You should always strive to be the best in the ways you get your message across to your audience. Having a clear and concise strategy will help in determining the frequency in which you post, and what you will post about will help your audience know what to associate your brand with. This consistent outline will position your brand as a thought leader in a specific area of interest and help maintain the success of your brand for the long term. Staying consistent. Being consistent in both the message you send to your audience and the frequency of that message will be key in developing a successful brand using social media. Developing natural habits also goes a long way in creating the consistency that's needed to build this brand. Writing before bed every night, posting every Tuesday of the week, posting on social media once a day. This outlook will help you develop a method that is consistent and works for your brand. Starting out, do not expect your brand to have 100 fans or followers, and definitely don't expect 1,000 likes on your first Instagram post. All of this takes timing and strategy, and respecting the process and staying true to your plan will ultimately determine the success of your brand. The commitment you have to your brand will be seen by every fan or follower you have. If you are starting to develop an audience and then forget to post for 1 or 2 months, this will show that your brand you are developing and that they are consuming may not be a priority in your life. Your lack of interest in your brand's webpage or social media channels will be seen by your audience. Through lack of engagement with the audience and the lack of consistency in your posts, audience members may start to pay attention to other brands that fill their needs more consistently. The internet, and social media specifically, is cluttered with so much content and so many distractions that it's hard to grab users' attention. As a brand, you should be creating and posting relevant content consistently to stay top of mind when audience gets online. Whenever they want to laugh, they know they could turn to your brand page. Whenever they need an insight on a new movie, they know they could go to your brand page for a review. Whatever your niche is, try to be the best in the field at it. You want your audience to think of you as an expert in whatever it is that you are branding. As more and more brands and people join social media, the more difficult it becomes to stand out. Being noticed and being seen is a struggle in today's internet since there are so many people trying to do the same. What will separate you from the rest is having a plan, sticking to the plan, and constantly engaging with people who show interest in you. Part 4. Small Business Branding. Small business branding has really evolved as social media marketing has made marketing for smaller companies more affordable, easy to use, and effective. As startup companies increase in popularity and app makers continue to develop new apps, these types of small businesses are thriving the most. With a large amount of app makers and tech companies being created by millennials, it's easy to understand why they use these platforms. One small business that has now turned into a very large business that utilizes social media well is Airbnb. Airbnb took the hospitality industry by storm in 2008 and has opened up a marketplace that allows people to rent out their homes to strangers. It sounds crazy, but it worked. Soon, people from all across the world began using Airbnb. Yet, without great social media branding, Airbnb would have never evolved into the global powerhouse that it is today. Showing their followers where they can go and the possibilities there are with travel resonated well with their audience. With a hashtag blending together campaign themes and location tags showing the countries they have rentals at, Airbnb did a tremendous job at building their brand into a getaway place where followers can go view new places to visit. Small businesses looking to develop a strong brand should first develop a strong social media presence through great themes, causes they support, and showcasing what their businesses can do for their consumers. Letting your audience know that you are not only providing a product or service, but you are offering them an experience is something that will be beneficial to the long-term success of your brand. Social media influencer branding. To be considered a social media influencer, other brands actually come to you to promote their products to your audience. Developing and maintaining a specific area of expertise is very important as bigger companies who are looking to market on social media target influencers with large audiences in specific fields. If you are a mom blogger and you talk about parenting tips, then companies that make baby products or other items mothers use can actually pay you to promote their products. Many times all brands want is for you to take a photo with their product and review the product to your audience. Not only do you get a free product to sample, but you also get paid for doing this. However, there are millions of influencers out there who are trying to earn money this way also. Your goal must be, how can I create a better experience for my audience? And how can I engage more with my audience to show marketers that your social media channels and brand are valuable enough to spend thousands of dollars on? Understanding your audience and catering to their needs will help keep your brand valuable. Brands look at influencers' past posts and quality of their posts, as well as the engagement you have with your audience. Having a strong track record and history of success will make brands believe in you even more and more willing to work with you. It's weird to think that another brand or product could help build your own brand, but it's true. When you are offered an endorsement of this caliber, your audience will be very interested in the relationship. They want to know if you really do love that product or if you actually use the product in order to really get them to engage. So don't just endorse products because you want to get paid. Endorse products that fit your brand and that your audience will want to learn more about. Everyday user branding. For everyday users of social media, developing a brand can be done for you also. Supporting causes by using hashtags, participating in challenges, and sharing news are all ways you can develop your brand. When your friends and followers begin to see you support a cause or take a stance on a major issue that affects them too, they will start to realize another side of you and your brand. This side shows empathy and compassion for others and those in need. Whatever the cause or charity, just seeing that you care about something other than yourself shows your audience that you value much more in life than just brand recognition. When you participate in challenges and engage in trend topics, your audience will begin to see this and associate you with these interests. Showcasing your personal interests and things you care about adds an element of kindness and true humility. With so much going on in the world, it's great when you could take a step back and see how others are being treated and bring awareness to issues or challenges that you think are important. Standing for something can help others join in, and this may lead to a solution to the issue at hand. Being a social advocate and sharing what you believe is right and wrong is exactly what personal branding should be. In the summer of 2014, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge took over social media as users poured buckets of ice over their heads, recorded the moment, posted it to their social channels, and then challenged others to do the same. The New York Times reported that the ALS Association received $41.8 million in donations from July 29th until August 21st, more than doubling the $19.4 million they received during that year. On August 29th, the ALS Association announced that their total donations since July 29th had reached $100 million in 1 month's total. Black Lives Matter was another major organization whose supporters used social media to promote the cause. Black Lives Matter has took over a life of its own, and everyday social media users use this hashtag to show support for the Black community in America that has experienced extreme discrimination and prejudice here in the United States for hundreds of years. Now that we have social media, these types of organizations can spread the word and bring awareness to the injustice that takes place here in America and to others in the world. Being involved in these types of causes makes your audience realize that you are just like them. Knowing that there are others out there that feel the same way as you do about an issue really helps build a quality relationship. Every person has a brand inside of them. It just takes self-reflection and a willingness to engage in the conversation through social media. To learn more, visit us at 2122brands.com. That's 2122brands.com.